All right, Zatima fans, going back to DeVal's interview with The List. We're going to talk about the section where we kind of learn about the birth of Zatima to begin with. And, maybe I'll title this video something along the lines of Tyler Perry saw the potential of Zatima while even filming season 2 of Sistas. I mean, this is towards the beginning of the interview, and as I did with the other 2 or 3 videos I posted yesterday from the interview, I will leave a link to the full thing in the comment section below. Now, basically, the interviewer asked the question, you also have your own show coming out as well, Zatima. At what point did you realize that your characters, referencing Zach and Fatima, were really popular enough to get your own show? And then how did that form? DeVal goes on to say, to be honest, I have to give credit to Tyler. When we were filming Sistas Season 2, and this was during the pandemic and the quarantine, we had Camp Quarantine, and I remember specifically, Crystal and I were sitting in the bed going over our lines before we were getting ready to shoot. Tyler walked in before Zach and Fatima were even seen by the public audience, and he sat there and said, I like this. I like something about this. That was before season 2 had already aired. Remember, season 2 of Sisters is when Zach and Fatima first met and the shipping began in the fan base. So and that just goes to show Tyler Perry has an eye for these kind of things. Now, DeVal goes on to say, and heck, this entire paragraph validates my statement that I just made. We've heard about Tyler Perry seeing chemistry between people and saying, this could be good in another realm. Crystal and I said, yo, we're going to get our own show. We used to tease about it, and we worked really hard during the pandemic over Zoom to develop our characters and our relationship. We'd say we're going to get our own show one day. Right after season 3, when the popularity was at its most, Tyler talked to us about possibly doing it. I know we had to run it by BET and made some decisions, but we found out at the end of last year that it was actually going to happen. We ended up filming season 1, and I believe that was in January of this year, and I'm excited about it. So that just lets you know right there, Tyler saw the potential in Zatima before it was technically even a thing. I mean, he walked into the room where Crystal and DeVal were practicing their lines and whatnot. And I just love the fact that these two really went for it. They really did the work. They spoke their spinoff into existence before it was even a thing. And it's just crazy to me when you think about Zach being the deadbeat boyfriend in and out of jail in season 1 and season 2. And then from there you had Fatima, who was Andy's assistant, who was kind of a recurring character. And then they linked together and they created something brand new that overtook the series, which I think is amazing. Kind of in the same way that, I'm not going to use the Steve Urkel analogy, but Boy Meets World, because I was actually watching it last night, where Angela and Sean, in some ways, were a better couple than Corey and Topanga, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day. I just love the fact that, history shows Tyler knows how to pair up certain characters. I think it could be argued that Candace and Charles from the Haves and the Have-Nots in their own right were the precursor for Zatima. That's not to say that they inspired Zach and Fatima to be the couple they are today, but when I'm talking about fan shippings within the Tyler Perry fan the Tyler Perry fan community, I haven't seen a couple with this much fire behind it from the fan base since Candace and Charles, and we saw how that turned out. But I think with Zach and Fatima, there's just a new level of intrigue, and Zatima is the spin-off show fans wanted Charles and Candace to have after the Haves and the Have-Nots came to a close. But I just really love the fact that Tyler saw the potential in these two. And I believe it kind of goes back to what he told Crystal before, like, hey, you said you wanted to get an opportunity to act. I want to give you a little something for Sister season 1. And if you kill it, I want to give you more in season 2, which he did. And then linking up with the vow, well, the rest is history. I think that just goes to show you that sometimes you want to be the number 1 player on the team. But the thing about it is, you don't want to do the, I guess you could say, the bottom floor or basement level work. You don't want to work with a little. I think it's isn't that the parable of talents? Yeah, I think that's the parable of talents from the Bible, where, you know, each worker was given a bag of gold in accordance to their talent, and they utilized the talents they had. I think what was the one dude who got 1 bag, another got like 3, and then another got 5. And basically they worked hard, except for the one guy who just buried his bag. They worked hard and actually doubled what their master had given them by the time he returned from his trip. So basically, it's like God saying, hey, if you could work with the little I provide for you, I'm going to bless you with more than you ever dreamed of. And that's what I think about when I just go back and listen to or read Crystal's interviews, where she talks about Tyler giving her a little something in season 1. And she just did so good at it that in season 2, she was given even more. And in season 3, well, blew up even further. And then, well, hey, now they got a spinoff show. So I'm just so happy for them. And that's why I'm really excited for Zatima, whether it comes out in June or whether it comes out this fall, due to the fact that Tyler saw potential before the fan base even saw the season to begin with. So I just really hope that in future projects, Tyler Perry is able to create not necessarily a Zatima clone, but different pairings of characters that fans could resonate with, as opposed to the repetitiveness of Andy and Gary or Sabrina and Calvin. It's just one of those things where fans want to see couples like this. I mean, I think when Sisters came out, you know, fans kind of wanted every main character to have what Zach and Fatima have. Obviously not everything is perfect. Heck, Zatima isn't even perfect, of course, but I think that that's what would have made the show a lot better as the seasons went on. Just the fact that these people are developing, Zach and Fatima are developing, they're changing, they're able to show a realistic view of, hey, love isn't perfect, love isn't easy, and love doesn't necessarily fix everything. It's a strong foundation of a relationship, but there are going to be a lot of things to come test that love. And when trouble starts knocking on the door, that's going to determine if that love is enough to keep two people together. But remember, it also takes a lot of work, compromise, and understanding in order to weather the storm. So with that being said, kudos to Tyler Perry for seeing the potential in Zach and Fatima, as well as to Val and Crystal for believing in themselves and putting in the work to eventually get the show that will be coming to us later this year. So with that being said, take a moment to hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Hit subscribe and hit the bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content on the channel.